Hello, I'm Lyn Lindbergh, and this is the Couch to Active podcast, week number 16, report out of my weight loss journey. If you're new to the podcast, we have over 500 episodes of the Couch to Active podcast, all about helping you stay motivated to keep health and fitness a priority for you, especially if you're struggling with chronic illnesses, aging, that's all of us, any other kind of setbacks and things that just make it extra difficult for you. So we're not the podcast that teaches you how to become a bodybuilder and compete on stage or be an Olympian or an elite level athlete. We're the ones who know, I am the one who knows you want to love your life. You want to enjoy your life as much as possible. And this whole exercise and health and fitness thing is a vehicle to give you more freedom in your body so that you can use your body to do the things you love and enjoy your life more. That's what it's about. And it's really, really pretty powerful stuff when you find yourself in a spot where you can do more than you were able to. When you find yourself in a spot where you're spending less time thinking, I'm so tired. I'm so worn out. I'm so this, I don't feel good. This hurts, that hurts, this impending surgery, that impending surgery. That all is very real and very hard and very difficult to work through. And then over weeks, usually months and years, as we get our health better and better and better, it's pretty gosh darn exciting to be able to do more with our lives. So that's what this podcast is. If you are new, we have a series here that I've never done before, where every week I'm coming on and journaling my own weight loss journey. Because when I first opened and started Couch to Active, I was able to run half marathons. I was what you would call skinny and fit. I checked the boxes, and I published an award-winning book, Couch to Active. And it was right at the pinnacle of all of that when everything was supposed to be taking off. The business was supposed to launch. Everything was supposed to be glorious. That's when my health fell apart. I got several chronic illnesses diagnosed. I ended up with a team of doctors trying to help me figure out how can I get myself so I'm not sleeping 15 hours a day. How can I get myself back to having some great energy? And within the span of a couple of years, I gained 50 to 60 pounds. Yeah, it happens to all of us. So long story short, if you've been along on this pony ride with me for a while here, you've done a couple of rounds on the merry-go-round with me, you know, I spent several years really clawing back my health with a team of doctors, regained my health, regained my strength, and only then did I decide, okay, now it's time to do a weight loss journey and really deliberately go to looking at how can I gain strength and weigh less at the same time, right? Get that number on the scale to go down while at the same time I'm gaining, maintaining muscle mass and gaining strength and gaining more health in the process. And we know that's a complicated topic. The number on the scale, it in and of itself does not dictate how healthy you are. Let me say that again. The number on the scale in and of itself does not automatically dictate how healthy you are or not. Since I started that journey, I have come on here live, real time, and reported out my progress week by week with my weight loss journey. I got to tell you, the first few weeks I did this, it was a little bit nerve-wracking. In fact, if you go back and listen to those first couple weeks, week 0, week 1, week 2, week 3, you'll hear some hesitation in your voice. You'll hear me making all kinds of caveats but it's not just about the scale. It's about health and wellness and this and that. I mean, you'll hear all kinds of stuff. And beyond and behind all of that, there was a little bit of a freak out going on in my brain, thinking, I know what to do. I am a weight management specialist. I have the paper. I have the documentation. I know what I should be able to do to make this be a success, but I started podcasting before I knew what would actually happen with me and my body. Now, yes, knowing that I come and sit before you in front of my microphone and report out real-time progress, that accountability is so motivating. Accountability is a huge piece of weight loss. It's a huge part that we need to have in there. We can't do this alone. And it's really, really hard to do it alone. Most of us, majority of us, we need that accountability. So I know that's a piece of it. Another piece of me was thinking in the back of my mind, oh my gosh, what if I do this and I get 10 weeks in and I fail? Or what if I get to my plateau of, I have a history of being able to lose 10 pounds, gain it back up, lose 9 pounds, gain it all even more. That's kind of how my weight gain went. And I was like, well, what if I get down to that 10-pound mark and then boom, I'm right back up? Yeah. So now I am dancing around almost 25 pounds off. I'm 16 weeks in. I am happy with this. We're doing it with no drugs. This is not bariatrics. This is not weight loss drugs. This is not fat burners. This is not eliminating any food groups. I'm still eating dairy. I'm still eating wheat. I'm still eating carbs. I'm not keto. But there's a heck of a lot of things that I am doing to support myself in this journey. So there we go. It's been a while since I've gone through and given that kind of summation of what it is. So there we go. Today, we're going to go again really quick, rapid fire of the same old things I'm doing every single week because I have to remind myself to do these things every week. So if you're, taking these podcasts and trying to, back out of them and, code them out for yourself, you got to remind yourself of these things every single week that I'm doing. I did this last week. I traveled to the South. And so if you have any travel and you want some tips on how to eat when you're traveling, especially to somewhere like the South, we're going to talk about that a little bit today because I did experience that. And then if you've been on a weight loss journey before yourself and you get frustrated and you feel like it's not happening fast enough, you're not seeing the success as fast as you think you should. It just is hard to stay motivated. I bumped into a little bit of that this week too. We're going to talk about that. So, all right, here we go. Let's start first of all with rapid fire. What are some of the things I am doing every week looking at? I'm just going to blah through this as fast as I can. Yeah. Okay. I am hardly drinking any alcohol. I have not eliminated it completely. I think I've settled in at about drinking 1 time a week, maybe 2 drinks, 2.5 at the very most. I'm staying hydrated. I'm managing my stress. I am, the hot tub is open again. So I'm back to doing a daily hot tub. I'm taking strolls outside just to de-stress. Also, I'm staying connected with people and I'm committed to supporting and loving my friends around me and staying committed to personal growth. These are all important for my weight loss journey. I am exercising, sleeping well, taking naps. I am giving myself access to healthy food. I have access to healthy food. I'm balancing my macros very, very carefully. Protein, fiber, fat, carbs, balancing those very carefully. If you don't know what that is, I can help you. I am committing to a minimum daily fiber intake. That's a huge piece of keeping me not hungry. I have a food safe kitchen. I am planning my meals. I have my meals in my head that I know will work. So if I don't have something planned, I know in my head what fits in that safe parameters of something I actually love that will not throw me off the cliff edge. And I always, with the scale, keep my sights on the 6-week trend. I don't look from day to day and let myself get freaked out about what's going on the scale. I look day to day. I don't look at the scale and say, oh, wow, I lost 2 pounds from last night to today and I ate crap yesterday, so I guess I can eat crap every day. I am not doing that because this is not how our bodies work. But I am doing a daily weigh-in because doing that daily weigh-in, I don't think you have to do that in order to successfully lose weight. But doing that daily weigh-in does also help desensitize, for me, the daily weight swings. So I know from day to day, it can go up and down 4 pounds for me, maybe even 5, depending on what's going on. But I'm looking at these overall averages. If I weighed in only once a week only, what if I weighed in on a day that was high? Or what if I weighed in on a day that was low? Yeah, it could be, for me mentally, that could be really hard. For some people, weighing in daily is not the right thing. I'm a real data geek. I like my data. So that daily weigh-in has been super helpful for me. So, all right. So those are lots of things we're doing. Another piece that we really haven't talked about a lot that creeped up for me was at the end of last week, I talked about how I had gone hiking and I did more miles than I'd ever done before. And my heel was talking to me a little bit. Uh-oh. Yeah. Uh-oh is right. So I did do too much. I did too much. My right heel is hurting. And I'm not quite sure what it is exactly. I've gone in and Google diagnosed it. But I knew. I've been around this pony ride enough times. I needed to nurse this heel on my foot and take really good, careful care of it. Really get this thing to heal so it doesn't become a long-term chronic thing. This heel pain of mine, listen up, y'all, listen up. This will sound familiar. This heel pain of mine, and for you, it could be your knee pain, your ankle pain, your shoulder pain, whatever. It was one of those where I knew I could grit through and push through, and I could still continue to hike and continue to do big miles. But, yeah, I also knew it would put me at risk of it getting worse and becoming a long-term chronic thing. So I spent this whole last week nursing that heel, icing it, ibuprofen, wearing the right shoes, making sure I always wore the right shoes and didn't go around barefoot. That seemed to be the right thing. It's getting a lot better, but gosh darn, it's not like all better. So I've gone a whole week without doing any hiking since that one big trip. That too much too soon was my own gosh darn fault. It snuck up on me. And so now it's holding back my ability to do bigger exercise for a time. And so now I'm just having to figure out lighter kind of exercise to do. So yeah, so that's a little piece of drama still going on. Can't really worry about it too much. But I did have to walk on it quite a bit because this was the weekend that I dropped my son off at college. That's right. I know. I've been talking this whole time about becoming an empty nester. I've had this like 12-tiered phase to becoming an empty nester. You know, he spent the summer at Dad's house and then we had a week vacation together and then now he's off to college. So now it really is. He is thousands of miles away from me. I live home alone. No pets, no nothing. I actually really like living home alone. I'm liking it better than I thought I would. But the stress over the last couple of weeks has kind of snuck up on me. And so I did have a couple of days where the stress was catching up and I did eat more as a way to kind of help cope with that stress. But I was able to, for the most part, make healthy choices there because it's what I had, which was really good. Now, part of this was flying down to meet him. He drove thousands of miles with his dad with all his stuff to the school. I flew down and met him. Here's what I did for flying and packing on travel day. Travel food. Travel blah, 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 blah. Yes. Okay. The food that I use when I travel looks very different on the way to versus the way from. What's worked really well for me is when I travel to a location, I pack my food for the day. I pack basically food for an entire day, even though the travel takes, a little more than half a day. Pack the food for an entire day. And then I tell myself when I get to the airport, I am not buying a thing. I'm not buying a gosh darn thing except for maybe a bottle of water. Except airports are pretty good at having water thingies you can fill up for free. And the water's actually decent in the ones at the Seattle airport, which is pretty great. So on the way there, I packed my favorite food. I packed my my salad that I absolutely love. It's like a whole bunch of greens with 1 ounce of goat cheese, half of a sliced up apple, 4 ounces of chicken, and just a little bit of olive oil and balsamic. Love, 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 love that. So I packed that. I also packed my favorite chicken pesto apple pasta thing. So it's very little pasta, small handful of pasta, 4 ounces of chicken, 40 grams of pesto, and then the other half of the apple in there. Packed that. And then breakfast, I think I ate breakfast at home before I left. So I had my food for the day there, and that worked out really great. However, when I get home on my way home, I'm curious to see this report out. It's happening before I fly home. So we'll see what happens on the way home. But when I was down in the South, I didn't do much dining out. I was there. See, this goes through Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the first 3 days. I ate one meal in my son's cafeteria, and it was actually kind of great. There were lots of choices, lots of not so healthy choices. But over in the corner of the cafeteria, they had this really cool spot that was like, here's the corner of the cafeteria where you can get food if you have every allergy in the whole world. Nut allergy, wheat allergy, dairy allergy, any of those allergies, come on over here. This is the safe corner for you. And by gosh golly, I got to tell you, when I looked at what they had there, now granted, this is just one day, one meal. I would not know what it would be like to eat there every single day, 3 meals a day. But when I got there, what they had was not only looking yummy, it was healthy and it was simple, but they also had chefs that flavored it with spices and seasonings to make it yummy. And a lot of times, this is where this is important. A lot of times, a weight loss journey has less to do with more grit and self-discipline that you have. In fact, it has very little to do with grit and self-discipline. It's more biology, science, all these things we've been talking about. Less to do with grit and self-discipline. And a whole lot more to do with taking the meals you're already eating and amping up the nutrition and dialing down the hidden calories, the hidden extras, the sauces that have as much calories as the whole meal, the added butter to the meat that almost doubles the calories in the meat, the salad dressing that quadruples the calories of the salad when there's other salad dressing options that are amazing and taste even better that don't have the calories. That's usually what it is. And when you have all kinds of food allergies and a chef making it healthy and yummy, those things kind of matched. So I was so happy. I got my chicken broccoli with some mashed potato. The mashed potato was made with some oat milk I actually liked the mashed potatoes made with oat milk better than mashed potatoes with butter. I was like, oh, these are yummy. And the chicken was clean and simple, but flavored nice. Same with the broccoli. It was cooked perfectly because they know if they're cutting out all the sauces and all the crud and all the fat and sugar out of this to make it more of a, allergy healthy option, then they've got to cook the actual food correctly. And it was fabulous. And my body was like, thank you, Lynn. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. So that was really cool. Now, dining out in the South. If you live in the South where everything is deep fried, layered with sugar, blah, 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 sweet tea, all this, I can really respect. Food is love. Food is connection. Food is belonging. Food is tradition. Food is sacred. And so if you are living in the South, and I'm talking south of the United States, if you're not from the US, if you're from, we got folks in Europe and Canada and Australia and some in South America too. I'm thinking if you look at a map of the United States in the bottom right-hand corner, a lot of those states, the food, the cuisine is very, very different. And it's full of culturally, a lot more fat and sugar. And everybody knows it. It's no secret. Deep fried. But it skews the sense of what's normal and what's healthy for someone. Whereas if you live in the Northwest of the United States, or even the West, or actually lots of different places, you go to a restaurant, and even if you go to a deep fried burger joint, they're going to have options that are actually healthy, that aren't full of that. So we went to one restaurant I went to, and I ordered, I don't want to offend anybody here because I don't know if this is a thing. I don't know if this is like a beloved meal people in the South eat. And if it is, please, I mean no offense. But I went through the menu and it was like deep fried chicken and French fries, and deep fried, hamburger, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I ordered a green salad. I ordered two things, and I ordered a PBT, pimento bacon tomato sandwich, thinking that this would be the healthier choice. So in my mind, I was thinking like a bacon, lettuce, tomato, where it's like basically it's a lettuce sandwich with some bacon and tomato in it. And I was like, yeah, that'll work. I'll get a bunch of greens. This was pimento cheese, pimento bacon tomato. I missed the fact that in this, and like I said, no offense, I'm so sorry if this is like a beloved, you got to tell me if this is like a beloved thing, or maybe it was just this one restaurant. I ordered they came in, I was thinking it was going to be like a big green sandwich. I missed the fact that there was no lettuce in this sandwich at all. I kind of missed the fact that when they said pimento bacon, that there would be a lot of bacon. And the fact that when they said tomato, it would be one little sad slice in the middle of the sandwich that you could almost miss. And the pimento cheese in my head, see, this is a culture thing. It was such an amazing cultural experience. I thought that it would be like a slice of white cheddar with some pimento sprinkles in it. Yeah. So what I was envisioning, and then I thought like, oh, bread, like sandwich bread with maybe some mayo. Oh, no. The pimento was actually like grated cheddar cheese with pimento seasoning with a whole bunch of butter and mayo. And it was like a whole like half cup of this stuff in the sandwich. It was like big and like thick as a hamburger patty, like a big hamburger patty, thick, like, oh my gosh. And sorry, I'm going to offend someone here, and I'm so sorry, but this is, I'll just own it. I guess I have some growth to do here. I don't care. The bread was the whitest white bread you could buy, and it was soaked in butter and fried. And I was like, oh my. And the green salad had a huge pile of cheddar cheese on top of it with massive croutons. Thank God I asked for the dressing on the side. So anyhow, I loved the company. I loved the people I was with. The atmosphere was wonderful. And in fact, if you were there at that meal with me, please know I am so grateful I was there. I love you guys. I was so grateful I was there with you. And I was shocked. I was shocked at how the healthy option that I chose was like actually feeling like it was going to make me sick. So if you live in a zone like that, where you hear me talking about what kind of foods I eat, and then you think, wow, that sounds really weird. Like, how does she eat like that? That's really weird. It could very likely be a food culture disparity between the food you have available to you where you're at and what kind of foods the restaurants serve versus what is in the South. So there's that. Then I also, for one of the first mornings I was down there, I was like, I'm going to go to Starbucks. And I had what I thought was a moment of just giving myself a treat. Okay. So let's talk through this really quick here. Go into Starbucks, go inside to Starbucks. Typically I would get an Americano, essentially 0 calories, coffee. Black coffee is awesome, you guys. If you don't like black coffee, try it. It's awesome. I would normally do that. And then if I did do a breakfast sandwich, it would be the healthier option of a breakfast sandwich, which is their egg white, ham, spinach. And it's actually really good. And the bun itself is actually high fiber, whole grain. It's actually really yummy. It actually tastes like real food. Only 300 calories. So get that number in your head. 300 calories. 300 calorie breakfast. Okay. Typically, I try to eat more like a 400 or 500 calorie breakfast, but I digress. So normally I would go in and be like, my food safe choice is that 300 calorie option. This morning, I thought, to hell with it. My boy's going to college. I'm stressed. I didn't eat. I feel hungry. And so I'm going to get myself a chai tea latte. Yeah, chai tea. No, matcha tea. Matcha tea, because matcha tea is healthy, right? Yeah, 16-ounce matcha tea latte. Cha-king. I'm going to get myself a regular breakfast sandwich, one with bacon and the regular cheese. Cha-ching. And I'm going to treat myself. I did this. I'm going to also get a croissant. Ta-ding. Wolfed it all down. Didn't feel any more full than I would have had I just gotten my 300 calorie sandwich. Didn't necessarily feel any more satisfied. In fact, maybe felt just a little bit like, oh, yeah. But I decided I was going to treat myself. Well, I got home, put it into my tracker. 1,000 calories. 1,000 calories. That, my dear ladies and gentlemen, that is how the weight gain can happen. We get into a situation and we say, hey, I'm just giving myself a treat here. It feels like no big deal. We get a little extra something. And then the amount of actual calories eaten in that case was more than tripled. And how satisfied I felt, not as good. And it spiked my blood sugars, which made my blood sugars drop. I'm not diabetic, but this is how this works, which later made me even more hungry than had I eaten just the healthier sandwich. Yeah, is that not fascinating? It's so not fascinating. I mean, it is fascinating. It's fascinating how that works. So that was another thing that had nothing to do with being in the South, but had to do with the fact that I am becoming more and more and more humbly aware and trying to set aside a bit of shame that I carry about the fact that I'm a human. And stress eating is a recurring theme that comes up for me that I need to watch and continue to watch. And I don't know that that'll go away completely, but there's a lot of work that I've done to get through that. So yeah, so I'm in the South at the time of this, at end of this week. I'm still in the South. I've got 2 more days. So next week I will report out more about what happened those last 2 weeks, what I did for food on the way home. But yeah, every time the apple cart of life gets upset, everything has to be relooked at. Everything needs to be readjusted. Where I spend my time, my, food, those food routines, those would have to be adjusted. And part of the reason I say that is because I was thinking, there was a time I had a fleeting few moments where I thought to myself, cost of living down south is a lot less than where I am here in the Seattle area. Like maybe I'm in an apartment in a city where I don't know anybody. I don't even have a dog. Maybe I'll just move down there and live more cheaply. That thought did cross my mind. Decided I didn't want to move. I don't want to interrupt my life right now. But then it got me going down that fantasy lane of imagining, what if I did move down there? I would have all the stress of the move, which would make me have to work even more diligently about how I eat. And then I would be down in an environment that's not as food safe, and my food options would be different, and the social expectations around food would be different, and the social culture around food would be different. And I would probably need to spend a good 6 months to a year minimum re-establishing all of that. So yeah, if that's you, if you've had an adjustment or a change of location or social circle or social structure, these are real things. And you can't just go in and say, I'm going to just like white knuckle it and just clench my fists and make myself succeed no matter what. It's like, no, we got to put systems in place and habits in place to make this work with ease, because that whole holding it tight and grit and self-discipline does not last for a lifetime. So yeah. So this next topic, I'm going to actually put it off for next week because I think it really deserves some real thoughtfulness and some focus. And I've already talked about all kinds of things with the South here. I think there's plenty for this week. So I'm going to push this one off to next week. But that's really that concept of how when we're in the middle of a weight loss journey, our perception of progress over time is really hard to be objective about. And just in a nutshell, we'll talk about it more next week. But really, I was talking with someone last week, actually, and explaining how, for me here, 16 weeks in, almost 25 pounds down, this is amazing. This is awesome. This is great progress. However, week over week, I have never felt like I really made any progress. Is that not weird? From one week to the next, like right now, I feel like I'm no different than I was the week before. The week before that, I felt like I was no different from the week before that. Like week over week, I don't feel any progress. So we're going to talk more about that, what it means, what to do about it. Because obviously, we're having some real progress here. Okay, let's take a look at the results. As far as my macros, which I'm tracking closely, protein, fat, fiber, it's kind of same old. So go back and listen to some of the other episodes and you'll learn about that. At the start of this week, I weighed in at 160 pounds, 160. So I was 22 pounds down. At the end of this week, even with the few days of travel in the South, remember I got a couple more days of travel in the South to go, 158.2, which makes a net loss for the week of 1.8 pounds, which feels amazing. I think I've got some banking from previous weeks that weren't so much that are finally showing themselves now. Total loss, 23.8 pounds. I am getting so close to that 25-pound mark, which I'm excited about. I'm about halfway to my goal weight. I don't know what my goal weight's going to be, but I think it's going to be somewhere around a 50-pound loss. We'll talk about that more at another time. And then this upcoming week, I've got a couple more days of travel in the South. And then I come home. I've got 2 days at home, and then I turn right around and have a weekend with some girlfriends. So this is going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting to see what week 17 looks like. So there we go. What's the most important about this last week? I think the biggest message this last week is, even though I really went off about the South and the food and the choices, it really is all about balance. It really is about having that healthy lifestyle 95% of the time. So when you travel to the South and you order a pimento bacon tomato sandwich and it's just crap, it's okay, because that's only 5% of your time and it doesn't derail you. Clearly, it didn't derail me, and I kind of like the story. And there's no way I would not have gone with that group of people with my son to, there's no way I would have been like, well, I'm not sure about the nutritional content of the menu of that restaurant, so I'm going to stay home alone in this, Airbnb by myself. Like, no. No. So there we go. There we go, my friends. That is the end of week 16. We'll see you next week for week 17. Good luck with your own journeys. If you want to get on a similar journey to get that scale to gosh darn go down and stay maintaining your muscle mass and strength and energy, reach out to me. I am a certified weight management specialist, functional aging specialist, personal trainer. We'll dial in your numbers, your macros, your mindset, and get you there too. Head on over couch2active.com.